All right, we're back with one more deck profile. This is the Blue Zorga, the Mysterious Rain Spiritualist Zorga deck. A lot of people seem to enjoy the the Grave equals Zorga. I'm a big fan of that deck too, but we can't forget about this adorable little guy, the one who started it all. So I have a profile for going into it before we get the set six format, because that will greatly change the deck based on the orders that become available in there. There's not really any super fun cards from that set to put in there. Otherwise, it is kind of just the orders. But I mean, the orders are kind of enough to make this deck have like a significant change. So we'll just start off with that. This is the ride line. You have your starter, Dream Nibbling. You have rank. Ooh, you're not Rancor Chain. You have Rancor Chain. Rancor Chain is it's the Soul Blast, draw two, and then either discard two or discard an order. It's probably one of the better grade ones that Stokia has to offer, and I think I play this specific package in like most of my Stokia decks as is. Black Tear's Husk Dragon on ride, you grab back the order that you discarded off of him. So like it's just kind of free. And then this beautiful man, Mysterious Rain Spiritualist Zorga. I mean, if you couldn't tell from the mat that I love this deck. Um, he has two abilities. The first is you counterblast one and bring back a card from your drop zone. I think it's equal to uh, his grade, or it should just be any. No, it's just choose a card. All right. Um, he's really good. He doesn't have the same consistency as Grave Zorga, but he has a lot of fun interact or a lot more power plays in his deck than the other one does. His other skill is the Alchemagic, which Alchemagic, if you don't know, when you play an order from your hand, you remove from a different one from your graveyard, you stack them together, and you have two different effects. It's a really fun deck. It's honestly probably the thing I play the most in this format. I just can't seem to get enough of it. So we're going to hop right in to the grade threes. There's only seven of them, so we have three more Zorgas for the Persona ride. Your Persona ride turns you want to hit like a truck. That's just the basic thought process on that. And then four of this beautiful Prison Roaming Dragon. I love this card so much. I'm sure when the next set comes out, depending on how I want to tinker with the deck, this might get cut down to two copies. But for right now, this card is insanely gas in this deck. It's just so good. Um, it's discard fodder. It's 15k beater with a crit. I mean, you know, free stuff is free stuff. We do like free stuff in this deck. Moving on to our grade twos, we actually don't just play Shadow Cloak. So we do play Shadow Cloak at four. That is, one of the heart and soul pieces of both the Zorga decks because it gets you your free cards in the drop zone. And in this deck, you don't use soul as much, so you're able to use his second skill a lot more than Grave Zorga can, which is to Soul Blast 1, bounce one of your rear guards back to hand if you did Alchemagic. This is really good because you can get like your perfect guards back, or you can get like your front triggers back, any big shield, or you can reuse Rogue Headhunter because Rogue Headhunter is insanely good. The last grade 2 I play is one copy of Clipping Dragon of Soul Revolution. End of turn, if you did Alchemagic, you tuck him into Soul and you countercharge one. Oh, he's so pretty. Look at him. Oh my goodness. Um, yeah, you play him because one, it helps you with your prison matchup. Not that you necessarily have a horrible one, but it makes sure you can keep going in that matchup per se. And then it's also just good because this deck, with a couple modifications I've added, you use a bit more counterblast than you used to. So that is a thing. But to reduce that, we have Rogue Headhunter. Oh my goodness, this little guy. On place, your next Alchemagic costs one less counterblast, and if you played an order this turn, he gets five. He's the best and pretty much only booster. I mean, sometimes you call Rancor out from the soul, but like he's pretty much your booster to be. You know, he'll be you calm down, reduce your counterblast, then you give him like +10 off of one of your orders, and he's just a fat booster. Him and a just a regular like prison dragon column, like assuming like you didn't alchemagic with anything that gave power, is 28. I think that sounds right. Which is 28 with a crit is a pretty good number, especially if you can get it for free. The last grade one we're playing is perfect guards. You can't get around playing perfect guards. We always need perfect guards. It's just insane. They're just really good. Uh, they they make it so in this deck you can keep bouncing them back because you can use Shadow Cloak a lot more. When the next set comes out, and this will go for Grave Zorga too, one of these will be the new Order Perfect Guard, which is good because then you'll have another order in your deck without having to increase the general number of orders like your order slots per se. So that's insanely good. And on to the bread and butter of the deck, which is our order cards. So the grade 3 ones, we play 3 of Grief, Despair, and Rejection, and 2 of Clouded Miasma. Now, the reason this is obviously like you can only play this with Mysterious Rain Zorga, which is why I keep updating this deck because I think this order is just really good and this deck's overall good. This helps you like increase the like ceiling of your deck in terms of power wise. So Grave Zorga can only get you to that plus like 10 to the front row, plus 20 if you Persona Ride. But this deck you can get plus 15 to your front row or 25 on a Persona Ride because this will give your Vanguard that skill of the Alchemagic, which again it's really good. We have one grade 2 order, which is Tearful Malice. It's just to reset your prison dragons. It's really good. It doesn't come up super often, I want to say. Most of the time, you're just pushing with double power orders like these that just push your power a bit more, so you can just kind of get your opponent closer to dead. And our grade 1 orders is 2 copies of Monster Reborn, or Spiritual Body Condensation. You bring back something for a Soul Blast and it gets +5. Not a whole lot to explain there. Monster Reborn is just good in any form you can get it in. And then this, In Search of an Ideal Far Away. So you play this as like a one of in Grave Zorga, but it's really good in this deck because you don't really have too many power plays, or I don't want to say power play. You don't have the consistency that deck does, where you can just constantly like, have access to this and then go or use it when you don't have counterblast. This deck it has sort of the opposite because I will hope to God to open one of these, one of him, and then like 2 prison dragons, and you give this to him. You call out your prison dragons. This is the deck that I normally get that to happen the most with. Grave Zorga, I just can't get it to happen. That's just my luck, unfortunately. But it's a really strong play that this deck has, so we run 2 of it so we can see it happen more often. And then we have the triggers. The triggers are pretty self-explanatory. 1 over trigger. I mean, over trigger is always disgusting, so we have to have that. We have 6 critical triggers. This is the more experimental phase of the deck I'm testing out. I think I have all the orders set up the way I like them. If anyone's curious, the twin drive order just isn't very good for this deck because you kind of blow your load with that, and then you realize, oh, well, I don't have an order in hand anymore. So if I don't draw one, my next turn I'm just a vanilla, which kind of sucks. But so yeah, I don't know, man. Six crit's been doing it for me so far. I'd prefer to play 8, honestly, but there's 2 things I'm valuing a lot right now. I'm valuing these draw triggers. Now, I wasn't a fan of draw triggers in Zorga until I played Grave Zorga, and I realized, wow, draw triggers are actually kind of, it's pretty fire for this deck. So we play 3 of that so we can draw more cards, and then 20k shields are just good. They save me in way too many scenarios, so I think that I just want to keep running those. And overall, like, you just want to push for big numbers as is. You have Prison Dragons for that crit pressure, so you should be fine. And I mean, you got to play 4 heals. We don't play the effect ones because I don't really care for them. Uh, but yeah, honorable mentions to the Twin Drive order. It is a good order. It's just not very good for this deck, I feel. Um, there is Nectar of Sensationalism to give one of your rear guards like the extra 5k for a card in your drop, and then if you have 15 or more, you get a crit. That's a really good one too. The thing I don't like about it is I'm capitalizing on my Prison Dragons, so they really won't get that extra crit. Yes, you can put it on a booster, and it does get the boosters a lot bigger. But I've built this with more of a I want to play well-rounded orders that'll just do me good whatever stage I'm at in the game. Because again, this isn't Grave Zorga. It's not very consistent, so I want to try to make this deck as solid as I can, so that I'm not looking at an order and being like, this is the horrible time for you to show up. I don't understand why, this one ended up in my hand. But yeah, that's the overall profile. This deck and Grave Zorga are definitely getting updated in the month of October because that's when we get all the new stuff. I have more standard profiles or overdress profiles coming up for you, so don't worry about that. The one I'm working on right now is a grade 3 Magnolia list. I know we don't have the support yet, but it kind of feels better than just running the grade 4 and not having Inlet Pulse, because Inlet Pulse was kind of gross for the deck. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one, and you guys take care. Oh no, my mouse went off again. There we go.